All right, let's get right into it. We often treat success kind of like a smartphone. We're always on the hunt for that next killer app. A new diet, a productivity hack, a crazy new workout plan. But what if the problem isn't the apps at all? What if the real issue, the thing holding us back, is the operating system they're running on?
It's a super frustrating question, isn't it? You see people putting in the hours, grinding day in and day out, but the results just don't seem to match the effort. It really makes you think the problem goes deeper than just trying harder. It's not about a lack of effort. It's about a flawed system running in the background of our lives.
And this, right here, is the big idea for today. Think about it. When you try to install some high-performance, fancy new app onto a buggy, outdated OS on your computer, what happens? It crashes, it glitches out, it just doesn't work. Well, the exact same thing is true for us. Our core mindset, our deep-seated habits, that's our personal OS. And until we upgrade that, all the new techniques in the world are just gonna fail.
So let's start with the most critical piece of the puzzle, the core processor of our entire system. This is our mindset. It's the central unit that literally determines the speed and the efficiency of everything else we try to do.
Now, what's really powerful about this slide is the fundamental shift it's showing us. Goals are all about some future outcome, right? But identity is about who you are right now. So instead of saying, I want success, you start telling yourself, I am the person who shows up. And here's the magic. Your behavior naturally follows your belief. When you truly believe you're the kind of person who never misses a workout twice, skipping one feels weird. It feels unnatural, because it goes against your very identity.
And this quote just brilliantly captures that mindset shift. Students, they hope for the best, they procrastinate, they panic before the test. But spies? Spies are given a mission and they execute. Period. There's no time to fail. This isn't about just hoping for an outcome. It's about seeing your tasks as missions to be accomplished with precision and with purpose.
Okay, so if mindset is our processor, then our morning routine is the critical boot-up sequence. That first hour of your day is like a metabolic vote. It sets the tone and the function for everything that follows. If you mess this part up, the whole system just runs sluggishly all day long.
So let's look at two different ways we can run this boot sequence. You've got the warrior start, which is all about building discipline through immediate, uncomfortable action. You get up and you attack the day. Then there's the strategist start, which is more about managing your biology first, calming your nervous system to prepare for the battle ahead. Now, the key point here isn't which one is right. It's that you are being intentional about your startup sequence.
So why would a strategist focus on being calm? Well, it all comes down to this thing called the cortisol awakening response. Your body naturally gives you a little spike of the stress hormone cortisol to wake you up in the morning. It's a good thing. It's a helpful signal. But when you immediately grab your phone, start thinking about work, and dump a bunch of caffeine into your system, you're stacking stress on top of stress. That huge, exaggerated spike turns that helpful signal into a command for survival mode, basically telling your body, hey, store fat, don't burn it. A strategist gets this, and they sequence their morning to work with their biology, not against it.
Okay, let's move on to our system's defenses. Any powerful OS needs a really strong firewall to protect its resources. And for us, that firewall is our environment. Its main job is to protect our most valuable assets, our focus and our willpower.
And believe me, these are the viruses trying to get through the firewall every single day. Every little notification that dings, every piece of junk food sitting in your kitchen, every drama-filled social media feed, they are all little bits of malware designed to drain your system's processing power and your willpower.
This quote is the absolute key to a strong firewall. See, discipline isn't really about fighting 1,000 temptations a day. That's just exhausting. It's about designing an environment where those temptations get filtered out automatically. If you don't want to eat junk food, simple, don't have it in the house. If you don't want to get distracted by your phone, put it in another room. Smart design will beat willpower every time.
Now let's talk about the code that actually gets things done. This is about how we perform our tasks, and specifically how we can learn and absorb information with just ruthless efficiency. Spies can't afford to sort of know something, right? They need to know it cold, and they use a precise protocol. First, total shutdown, no distractions allowed. A fast brain is a silent one. Second, they chunk the information down into smaller pieces. Our brain learns way faster when it can see the finish line. Third, they don't just read, they interrogate the text, pulling answers out of it. And this last one is the most important, the recall loop. Look away from the page and explain it out loud. That act of pulling information out is what builds strong memories, not just pushing more information in.
So, we've got our mindset, our morning sequence, our firewall, and our execution code. We've built a pretty solid system. But there is one final component to this operating system. It's an upgrade that almost everybody ignores, but it's the one that changes everything.
So just think about it for a second. In fitness, in business, in life, what's that one fundamental piece of equipment that's absolutely essential but gets almost zero dedicated attention?
That's right, the neck. I know it sounds a little strange, but bear with me on this. 90% of people in the gym, they train their arms, their chest, their legs, but they completely ignore the very pillar that holds up their head.
The neck is a metaphor for all the unsexy, foundational work that we tend to skip. It's not flashy like a new productivity app, but here's the thing. A weak foundation will undermine even the strongest structure. A strong neck provides stability and projects power without you having to say a single word. In our Success OS, this represents mastering the basics: sleep, hydration, consistent routines, all the stuff that isn't exciting but provides all the real strength.
And this quote just brings us right back to the core idea of an operating system. Your big ambitions, those are your dreams. But your habits, your fundamental, unsexy daily routines, that's the system you actually run on. And that is the level you will perform at day in and day out. So let's just end with this thought. Your operating system is running right now, as we speak. Every single day, you are building habits, you're reinforcing beliefs, and you're designing an environment, whether you realize it or not. The system is being built no matter what. So the only question you really have to ask yourself is, are you the one writing the code?